We're about to begin the October 15th, 2025 regular meeting of the Harris Central Appraisal District's Board of Directors. Members of the public wishing to address the board should have completed the sign-in sheet at the back of the room. You will be called upon to speak in the order that you signed in. When you begin, please state your name. Mr. Chairman, you may call the meeting to order.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Robinson. I'm chairman of the Board of Directors, and I hereby call the October 15th, 2025 regular meeting of the Harris Central Appraisal District Board to order. The time is now 9:31 a.m. And Kyle, would you please do the honors and lead the pledge to the flags?
Please join me in saying the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
To the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Okay, we have, because we have to do the election today of a replacement member of the Board of Directors, we've found it necessary to change the order of business. So what my plan would be that as soon as we do the roll call, we'll take comments from members of the public, and then we will take introductory comments from any of the nominees. We have 10 people were nominated by the taxing units to be considered for today's appointment. And if it happens that we reach a decision early on and that person is here, then the plan would be to swear you in immediately, and you would take your seat at the board table. With that, I will now proceed with the roll call. Kathy Blooper Daniels.
Present.
Martina Luan Dixon.
Present.
Erica McCutcheon.
Present.
Melissa Noriega.
Present.
Annette Ramirez.
Present.
Kyle Scott.
Present.
Mike Sullivan.
Here.
And myself, Jim Robinson, present. During the public comment portion of today's meeting, registered members of the public will be permitted 3 minutes to address the board. Speakers, we ask that you observe the clock to keep track of the time. Ms. Guerra will also be doing so. She'll advise when you have 30 seconds remaining and when your time has expired. And at that point, I'll thank you for your participation and call on the next speaker. We have 2 members of the public signed up to speak today. First, we'll recognize Melissa Rowell. Good morning, Ms. Rowell.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and fellow board members. I'm Melissa Rowell. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Bogard on his appointment as Chief Appraiser. I also want to thank Ms. Teresa Terry for assistance to one of my clients with a homestead exemption matter. Her attention to property owners' issues always is appreciated. And lastly, it is my understanding that Mr. Bill Frazier has been nominated by the taxing units to fill the unexpired position of Cassandra Azim Bandy, who resigned and will be missed. Mr. Frazier's CPA background and availability to dedicate time to HCAD make him a strong candidate, and I respectfully request the board consider appointing him to the position. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Rowell. Our next public speaker is Alexis Esposito. Good morning, Ms. Esposito. Now recognize Alexa. My mic was off. Good morning, Ms. Horsey.
Just a minute, I'm getting to my speech. I request that Bill Frazier be appointed to fill the vacancy that is on the Harris County Appraisal District Board. He is highly qualified for the position. Mr. Frazier has over 50 years' experience as a certified public accountant and has held significant positions, including former president of the Houston CPA Society and the 20-year tenure on the board of directors on the Texas Society of CPAs. Mr. Frazier has been nominated for this position by the Bel Air City Council. Taxes affect our schools, our community colleges, our roads, our law enforcement, and firefighters, as well as the other integral parts of Harris County. Bill Frazier has the experience and the know-how to look out for both the taxpayers' interest and the accurate application of property tax laws, and ensure the appraisal district delivers accurate and objective results. For more than 25 years, his career focus has included valuing family-owned businesses and holding entities such as family limited partnerships, and providing expert witness services, including testifying in tax controversy matters. Mr. Frazier has participated as appraiser and expert witness in several U.S. tax court cases. He has written numerous articles on the subject of business valuation and also related chapters in textbooks. He's been a senior member of the American Society of Appraisers since 1987, as well as numerous similar positions. I know each of you wants Harris County Appraisal District to provide the utmost of professional services to taxpayers. You couldn't get anybody more qualified for this position. Please vote for Bill Frazier to fill the absented, vacated position on this board. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Swersey. We'll move now to hearing comments. Also, we have one more sign-in for the public. Mark Goolsby, or Gollaby. I'm sorry, Mr. Gollaby, I mispronounced your name.
I've been called worse. So, let me get these. Good morning. How's everybody
morning.
doing? I appreciate the time. Appreciate y'all letting me speak here today. My name is Mark Gollaby, and someone should lobby for the Texas taxpayer. Appreciate the board members serving, especially our elected members, advocating for the taxpayers here today. Some of the elected appraisal districts across Texas are going into a 3-year type evaluation and appraisals on properties across the state. And as you go through and look at that, again, the code 25.18 only requires reappraisals once in 3 years. And while they're a very legislative initiative, it is still the 3-year cycle. The advantage to the Harris County Appraisal District for that is by having appraisal every 3 years, Harris County can be divided into 3 sections to have only 1/3 of Harris County getting appraised in any 1 year. Last meeting, there was mention, or the meeting several back, was recording the record number of protests. There was such a discussion on the stress and the difficulty involved filing ARB positions. That could all be cut by 2/3. This will allow for less permanent staff and lower the requirements to fill the ARB positions, and hopefully lowering the cost to taxing authorities, which theoretically would be passed on to the taxpayers. With the reduction in staffing to do residential appraisals every year, some of the permanent staff can get higher training levels to take on some of the more complex commercial property appraisals, reducing the need for such higher paid outside consulting services, which in and of itself is kind of a conflict of interest in which some of these consulting firms are negotiating with themselves as they represent the district and the property interest in the same case. Such a process isn't without sound foundation, accepted accounting principles in what is termed cycle counting for internal audits of inventory in industry. For the situation where property values go down, a person would have to wait 2 years to get this reflected on their taxable value. If we can get more appraisal districts to adopt longer appraisal cycles, I would go to the legislature to get provisions that a person can petition for reappraisal of their property in such circumstances. So I thank you again for your time. Appreciate the opportunity to visit.
Thank you, Mr. Gollaby. All right, let's move now to hear the comments and introductions from the nominees. I'm going to call you in alphabetical order, and in the interest of time, just as we did for the public speakers, you'll have 3 minutes. And first, we'll recognize Mr. Charles Brandman. Good morning, Mr. Brandman.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Chuck Brandman, and I'm one of several residents of Harris County who have tossed their hat into the ring to be considered to fill the current board vacancy. Today, you all have the opportunity to make that decision. From what I know of all of the candidates, it will not be an easy one. as each of us bring different strengths and backgrounds. Previously, I've sent to each of you some information on my background and professional experience. Rather than repeat that, I would like to take my brief time here to articulate how my experience will transfer into being an effective and productive member of the HCAD Board of Directors. My initial education and early career as an engineer provided a strong basis of data analytics, while subsequent corporate and board governance positions have provided me with the insight to ask the right level of questions and facilitate a discussion that leads to a productive path forward. With the majority of my career working in a multinational Fortune 50 company, I have had firsthand experience managing multi-million-dollar budgets, managing multi-billion-dollar projects, negotiating contracts, taking leadership roles in orchestrating some of the largest corporate mergers of the past 20 years. So how does all this prepare me to be an effective board member? Working in industry, working in finance, working in government, working as a volunteer leader all require the same skill set. Listening to those around me, probing and determining the root cause of an issue, offering innovative ideas, then working collaboratively to develop a path forward for the organization. This is what governance is all about. All of my experience working in corporate America as a director of my MUD board, as a director and prior board chairman of a $370 million credit union, and more community volunteer organizations than there is time to list here, my North Star has always been to understand who is the customer. HCAD is somewhat unique in that it has two distinct customer cohorts, the 622 taxing units and the owners of about 1.9 million parcels. While this is certainly a challenge, I look forward to the opportunity to join you in serving all customers. Oh, one more thing about me that I think you need to know. I'm here today because I have a profound desire to serve my community. I'm not looking for a stepping stone or an axe to grind. I'm here because the colleagues with whom I serve on my various different boards have urged me to run to bring my level and effective approach, which they value at every board meeting, to HCAD. Thank you for your time this morning. Thank you for your service to Harris County.
Thank you, Mr. Brandman. Next, we will recognize Jonathan Cowan. Good morning, Mr. Cowan.
Good morning, esteemed members of the HCAD Board of Directors. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today regarding the vacancy created by the resignation of Cassandra Ozambambi. I come to you not just as a candidate, but as a committed public servant who understands the weight of the responsibility and trust this demands. If selected, I will approach this role with the utmost honesty, transparency, and dedication. I recognize that this position is not just about governance. It's about serving the citizens, businesses, and taxing entities of Harris County with integrity and fairness. It's about ensuring that HCAD continues to uphold the Texas Property Tax Code and the principles of sound corporate governance that you, as board members, are entrusted to protect. My qualifications are rooted in a strong corporate background and a deep understanding of information technology, skills that are increasingly vital in today's data-driven environment. I've had the privilege of serving on this board and others like it. I've always done so with one goal in mind: to serve, not to gain. I bring no agenda other than a desire to contribute meaningfully and responsibly. I believe my experience, my track record, and my commitment to public service makes me well suited to fulfill this role with diligence and integrity it requires. I respectfully ask for your vote, not for personal achievement, but to continue to serve the people and institutions of Harris County to the best of my ability. Thank you for your time your consideration, and your continued service to our community.
Thank you, Mr. Cowan. Next, the chair recognizes Bill Frazier. Good morning, Mr. Frazier.
Good morning. Thank you all very much for having me here today. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be nominated for a position on this board. First, I want to correct some prior testimony about me. I'm not an appraiser. I'm not a certified appraiser, and I've never done a formal appraisal on any property in my career. So I wanted to correct that testimony. I am a CPA. I'm for 27 years, I served as the Chief Financial Officer and Chief Operating Officer of an entity called CBRE Capital Markets. It's a wholly owned subsidiary of CB Richard Ellis, and we were the largest originator of commercial mortgages for multifamily and commercial properties in the country. I also managed 35 loan origination offices throughout the United States. We had a $150 billion loan servicing portfolio, and also served on the loan committee for our Fannie Mae multifamily originations. We were also the largest originator of Freddie Mac mortgages, but they underwrote their own mortgages. I was the chair of the national organization called MISMO. M-I-S-M-O stands for Mortgage Industry Standards Maintenance Organization. We developed and created data standards for commercial and residential properties. And we also maintained standards for data collection, data maintenance, and this data was used to make decisions. Since I retired in 2012, I've been mainly involved in volunteer for nonprofit organizations, including Camp Allen Board for 12 years, Senior Rides and More, which gives rides to seniors who live alone and can't drive anymore. So we provide transportation services for them for 12 years. St. James House in Baytown, a retirement home for 6 years. And I'm now the treasurer and been on the board of Lord of the Streets, a homeless shelter in Midtown Houston. As a board member, I will look forward to collaborating with the other board members and with the chief appraiser in maintaining the high degree of integrity and service to the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier. Next, we recognize Paul Garcia. Good morning, Mr. Garcia.
Hello, I'm Paul Garcia. Chairman Jim Robertson, distinguished members of the board and staff of the Harris County Appraisal District, it is an honor for me to have been nominated as a candidate to fill your current vacancy. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Harris County, Houston, Texas. I'm a graduate of the University of Houston with a BBA in accounting. I have an MBA in international finance, and I'm a certified public accountant. I was always felt it was my civic duty to give back to the community, so I always volunteered at agencies like the MD Anderson Cancer Center, Houses for Habitat, SPCA, and like everyone else, the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. So after that, after years of working in corporate America, I wanted to venture out on myself and commence a startup company. This venture exceeded all my expectations. Once my wife and I became empty nesters, we decided to move to Tomball. We wanted to live in that small town environment, and my wife wanted to raise chickens. So we moved. Subsequently, I was approached to ask if I'd be interested in running for city council. Apparently, the city council had been in there. Those people had been in there for like 15 years. And so I decided to run, and I won. I'm currently in my second year of a 3-year term. I take very seriously my fiduciary responsibility in a community representing the people. I want to bring that same commitment to the taxpayers of the county. Serving the public in a fair and transparent manner is something I take pride in. With my experience in audit and financial analysis, I know I can hit the ground running. My financial background, years in corporate America, running and owning my own company, and my experience of working on city council offers a solid foundation that can add value to already a strong board. It would be a great honor, and I'd be extremely grateful given the opportunity to serve the property owners and the taxing entities on the board of the Harris County Appraisal District. I sincerely hope to receive your vote. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Next, we recognize Tracy Jones.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Tracy Jones. I am the nominee for Harris County and the Harris County Flood Control District. When I heard about this opportunity, I did what I think most people would do. I went and checked out the competition. And frankly, it's pretty impressive. You've got executives, clergy, people who have been on really big boards. They've run really big, businesses. They've started their own business. And if I were anybody but me, I would be scared. But I am convinced that that seat should go to me because I have lots of experience that nobody else has mentioned. First, I am from Alief. I've lived there 30 years. And, I'm just a middle-class lady in a middle-class neighborhood. But the area around me is one of the poorer areas of the county. And so I've spent the last 30 years advocating for those people in my area who weren't able to do it for themselves. I haven't been on many boards, one here, one there, because I was in the streets doing the work with the people face to face. The other thing that I bring to this is I have 24 years of experience in property tax collections in Harris County. Mr. Altinger there, many, many years ago, he probably doesn't remember, taught me how to use the appraisal district systems. I was able to log in from my desk every day and see what was going on with an account. I could help a taxpayer understand if their protest was pending, if they were rejected. You'd be surprised how many business owners in Harris County don't understand the process. Because I was specializing in business personal property taxes, over 24 years, I met with literally thousands of business owners. Frankly, they didn't get it. They didn't know what a rendition was. They weren't able to follow the deadlines. And I spent probably 80% of my time educating them, walking them through the forms, showing them how to maneuver this process. That's why I'm convinced that I'm the best person for this position, because I believe that the key to fixing all of these problems starts with getting in the community. And I don't mean holding little open houses here. I'm talking about going out into the community to meet people where they are, where they need us, where we can sit down, answer questions, give them the forms, and show them how to make this work. Because we are here to be public servants. I'm ready to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jones. Next chair recognizes John McGee. Good morning, Mr. McGee.
Good morning, Chairman Robinson, members of the board. My name is John Fitzgerald McGee, and I share my middle name because I was named for, of course, our 35th president, who said at his inauguration, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what can you do for your country?" That became my life's calling. Right out of receiving an MBA at the University of Texas, I went to work for the Legislative Budget Office, and from there became Assistant Budget Director for the Texas Education Agency. And while I was there, Dr. Mike Moses, who was then, of course, Commissioner of Education, asked if I would go to a local small school district, of which we were managing at the time, and I told him absolutely not. But after 6 weeks of prayer, I decided to go, and that I spent the last 20 years of my career in public service there and working in school districts. I worked in 2 school districts in the Dallas area, and I've worked in 3 school districts here, Spring Branch, HISD, and retired as Director of Accounting and Business Services for Aldine. So I certainly appreciate all of the assistance that the Harris Central Appraisal District has provided in my roles there. And I continue to serve in the city of with the City of Houston in the Housing and Community Development Department. Wednesday is my day of service. It's a day that I have off, and so I'll close with this. I was after I reviewed the agenda yesterday, I said, "Wow, what an impressive list of candidates!" And I decided to come anyway. But I really wanted to come really as appreciation, to extend my appreciation to my board, the Harris County Department of Education, for nominating me. And it literally came from out of nowhere. And so they said, we think you'd be great at it. And so I bowed to their decision to nominate me, and I thank them for that nomination, and I thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. McGee. Next, we'll call Paula Mendoza. Good morning, Ms. Mendoza.
Good morning. Thank you, Board, for allowing me the opportunity to introduce myself to you. I am Paula Mendoza. Sound a little bit like Paul. I don't know Paul, but his story is almost what I have written, but it is my story as well. I am a native Houstonian. My family grew up on the north side, part of Aldine Independent School District. Went to Lone Star to receive my associates, then went on to UH downtown, and eventually received and earned, as I say, at a later age, my MBA. So I'm rooted here in the community. About 30 years ago, I moved into Heights with my son and my husband and have been there ever since. I, too, came from corporate America, and at a point in my life, I thought, I want to do more. I want to be an employer. I want to be able to provide jobs for people, including my family. I have 3 businesses that I run now and feel that it is my obligation to give back to the community. And for about 30 years, I have been in the community working with different nonprofit organizations that are educational in nature, helping our underserved get a good education and afford the opportunity for college. The other has been workforce development, one I'm very devoted to, making sure that our community is allowed the opportunity to have a good life and to provide for their families, as well as small business advocacy. In this day and age, it's something that we really have to advocate for and make sure that our small businesses, what this country is run on, has the opportunity to produce product and service to our communities. The majority, as I said, of my community work has been because I have such a strong business and a team behind me that allows me to provide this service to the community, which means people say, well, you have a lot on your plate, but I have a good team back at home. So I want to make that very clear that, yes, I do own businesses, but at the same time, I am very committed to my community and have been. I've served on, for the last 15 or so years as an appointed board member, including the Texas Ethics Commission. Very proud of that. Very proud of the 6 years I sat on the U of H Board of Regents, which was a huge opportunity for me to help the underserved students have an opportunity at U of H and any of its campuses. I currently do serve on the HISD school board, so I am very honored and blessed to do that because, again, it helps our community, it helps our students have a good education. Today, I do serve on the TERS board, the Education Foundation for the East End, and the HI School Board, as I said. I am committed to my community, if you haven't heard from all of the boards that I sit on. And I don't just sit on the boards to put my name on a roster. I am committed. I'm 100% productive on the boards that I serve because I believe in that. And I believe in those that I serve. So thank you for the opportunity to serve and talk to you today about serving on the HCAD board if that becomes something I am appointed to do. I appreciate you and thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Mendoza. Is Mr. Mintz here? He had not signed in at the time the sheet was put back to the back, so we'll move on to the next nominee, Eugene Newsom. Good morning, Mr. Newsom.
Good morning. So I've been a practicing litigating attorney for 30 years, and I think I can get up and talk in front of juries with no problem, but it's always hard to talk about myself. First, I want to thank you, like all the other nominees, for this opportunity and your consideration. I'm sorry. I am not originally from Houston, but I got here as fast as I could. I came here in 1999 for law school. I've been here ever since. I'm going to assume that everybody read and became very familiar with my professional profile that I gave to you all. But I've been here 26 years now, and I became a homeowner in 2006. One of the things that you won't find on my professional bio is that, first and foremost, I'm a father of 3. My son, Jared, he graduated from high school here with honors. Interesting enough, he left a high school with 3 ACL tears, but he still managed to get a football scholarship and left that school with all but 2 of their wide receiver records. My oldest daughter, She started high school off with a bang, straight A's, but I think the highlight of her career will be that she helped her Summer Creek Lady Bulldogs win the first state championship in Humble ISD's 106-year history. And then there's the baby girl. She still trying to figure things out in elementary school, but every day she reminds me that I'm bald-headed. I don't know why. But one of the most important things that I've taught them throughout the years is the importance of community service and, to the best of their ability, to leave things better than they found them. When I became a member of the Harris County Mud Board 278 in 2012, we were operating with a 10-month operation reserve, which means as long as nothing happened, we didn't collect any more money, we could still function for about 10 months. About 4 years later, I was voted as the board's president through collaboration with our general counsel, financial advisors, accountants, engineers, and operators. We now sit on an operation reserve of 48 months, which means even if we had something happen, we could still pay our bills and we could still operate as a district. Drawing on this experience with compliance and negotiation and financial management, and one of the goals, if I am fortunate enough to be selected to join you all, is that I want to ensure that we use data-driven appraisal processes and that we improve taxpayer services so that everybody feels when they come before this board or through a committee here that, number one, they're heard, they're respected, and they're treated fairly. And I know that in looking out for the taxpayers, we also have to be mindful that one of the jobs here is to create accurate proposals or appraisals so that the different taxing the entities here can use that information to generate the revenue that they need to provide essential services. And so if you select me, number one, I'll do that. I'll make sure that we're operating openly and that we're doing everything we can to serve the people and the different taxing units here. Thank you for your consideration, and I appreciate sitting with you.
Thank you, Mr. Newsom. And we've reached the last on the list alphabetically, Paul Shanklin. Good morning, Mr. Shanklin.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. President, Board, Roland. My name is Paul Shanklin, and I'm kind of a boots on the ground kind of person. And my understanding of the appraisal district is that serve as a director is a governing body of the district, and I keep that in mind because I also am a member of other districts. I'm a member of the school board of Aldine. I work with the Harris County Homeless Coalition. I'm on the Harris County Housing Association board, so I understand governance. With that in mind, the mission of the Harris County Appraisal District is to efficiently and equitably produce an accurate appraisal of the Harris County property owners and existing units. To that end, the Board of Directors and the Chief Appraisal should work together to establish the rules, structures, and processes for decision-making, signing authority, defining responsibilities, and fostering transparency to achieve strategic goals of HCAD. That's what everybody is saying. Everybody understands your mission. And I would work with the other directors to select a chief appraiser, approve the annual budget, appoint the appraisal review board. Finally, as a member of the board of directors, I will work with the other directors to adopt a biennial plan for the appraisal of the property within the appraisal district. That's what everybody knows. That's what's on your website. However, it is a governing body, a policy-making body. We don't do any of this alone. We have to work with each other to understand what's best for every member of our district. As I said earlier, I'm a boots on the ground kind of person. I've actually walked in the community. My community is a very poor community, and there's ways to get people to understand what's going on, and you have to knock on the doors. You have to talk to the people individually. You have to sit in those neighborhoods to look at those people. So with that in mind, I do have an agenda. I understand the tax burdens that we place on our constituents. As a member of the Aldine School District, and any ISD, we pass tax rates every year. And we tell our people that we are going to hold taxes in abeyance. And we work hard at it. We haven't changed or haven't raised our tax rate in a long, long time, to the detriment of the school district in some cases. But my agenda is to gain education and to learn from you guys how I can better go to my constituents to explain the simple math of appraisal of properties versus a tax rate. We get that all the time, that you said you're not going to raise our taxes, but our taxes go up. And it's simple math. And I'm thinking and I'm hoping that I learn enough from you guys so that I can go back to my people and help explain why holding the tax rate in abeyance doesn't necessarily mean your taxes won't go up. We have to understand the policies of that, and we have to be able to communicate that to the people so that they understand. With that in mind, I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shanklin. Well, I think it's pretty obvious that this board is going to have a tough decision to make. We have just extremely well-qualified nominees, and I'll just say personally, I very much appreciate your willingness to serve and to offer your name up for our consideration. What the plan will be, we will be going into executive session shortly. We're going to take up a couple of things here. We will look at the settlement of pending litigation, which is something that the board has to do at every meeting, but most of the time will be spent discussing the nominations. And when we come back out, we will vote by paper ballot, and if we don't come up with someone with a majority on the first ballot, we'll continue voting by paper ballot until we do. I commented to the chief appraiser this morning that this may be like the Texas House electing a speaker. Sometimes they have to go through many votes to do that. And the choice is not going to be easy because of the extremely high quality of the nominees. But with that said, the board will now enter executive session. The executive session is held for the purposes authorized by sections 551.071, 072, 074, and 076 of the Texas Government Code. The board will now retire to executive session. The time is 10:07 a.m. back live with the broadcast, or is? Yes, sir. Okay, we are live. The board has returned from executive session where no action was taken. We're now reconvening in regular session. It's 11 o'clock, and the first item will be for the casting of the ballot to select the replacement board member. Board members should vote by circling you can either circle the name or just put a check in the box that says selection and sign your name. Then Cindy will ask you to come and pick the ballots up, and you and Kevin tabulate them and then bring the result back up to me. So at this time, cast your vote.
Excuse me, point of order for the chair. There needs to be a motion first for the vote, and if you look at item
You're
8,
not picking, it's not picking you up.
if you look at item 8, it will say what the motion is. You'll
Okay,
need
there's
to,
a motion with it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, do I have a motion to approve this item to proceed with the election? And second?
Second.
All right, we have both a motion and a second. So let's go ahead and cast the votes, and we'll proceed with tabulating.
My prom queen vote.
While they're tabulating, I do want to say this is probably one of the most difficult decisions that I've had to make professionally. We have enormously qualified candidates here today. We have many of you that I know personally, and it was not an easy vote to take, but we will shortly know how everybody voted, and we will announce the winner, and then the plan would be that we're going to get the winner, if the winner is still here, to step forward, and Claret Walker has the statement of elected official form that you have to sign, and then once you sign that, I will come out and we will swear you in, and you'll immediately take your seat at the dais. All right, the tabulation has been completed. There were 6 votes cast for Tracy Jones, 1 for Bill Frazier. Therefore, we declare Tracy Jones to be duly appointed as the next member. And Clarette, let's let Tracy come around here and sign that statement, and then I will give you the oath. Okay, let's go with this microphone right here. All right, if you would hold up your right hand and repeat after me. I, in your name,
I, Tracy Jones,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Member, Board of Directors, Harris Central Appraisal District of the State of Texas.
Thank you. That I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Member, Board of Directors, Harris Central Appraisal District of the State of Texas.
And will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
And I will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And if you will sign here, you'll sign your name right there. You are duly sworn in. And my pen is, here we go.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. And come on up. Okay.
No. Sorry.
One more second. Well, I would have heard first. Good start, Tracy, good start. Congratulations.
My middle name is Grace. Thank you.
Again, the appreciation of all of us to those of you who chose to seek this office. This was a very, very difficult decision, extremely difficult. And we very much appreciate you and your continuing interest in HCAD and its work. All right, we're going to move on now and take up the rest of the agenda, which we deferred at the beginning. We'll move to agenda item 6, which is appointment of ARB members. This next item is discussion and possible action to approve Resolution 2025-10, appointing individuals to serve as members of the Appraisal Review Board beginning January 1st, 2026. Do I have a motion to discuss and take possible action to approve?
I so move.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, the motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All right, at this point then, I recognize Director Bluford Daniels, who is chair of the ARB Appointment Committee, for her report and that we'll be voting on.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, all the members of the committee. The ARB Appointment Committee held its first interview session for the 2026 hearing season on September the 26th. So we came out the gate running. We're being aggressive with these interviews, and of the 19 applicants scheduled for interviews that day, 8 were no-shows. The committee interviewed the remaining 11 applicants and provided the full board with the applications for consideration. The committee now recommends appointing 6 individuals for 2-year terms and 2 individuals for 1-year terms, as listed in the resolution for 25-10. Applicants that interviewed on October 10th will be considered for appointment by the full board at the board's next regular meeting in November. And let me just also add that we already, as I said, we were being aggressive. We already have six more meetings scheduled for interviews. The last been tentative, but we're trying to ensure that we meet the needs of the ARB appointments and have enough people for the panels. And we were also informed that they're still having full panels as late as October. That's pretty unusual, having served on the ARB myself. Usually in October, we start planning for the holidays, for Thanksgiving and Christmas, etc. But to have full panels this late in the year, it just shows you the need for us to be aggressive and in fulfilling these positions. So thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you all for the committee members, for those that came and participated. And so everybody, please, let me just reiterate, get the word out. We're Indeed, Jack, we're hearing Indeed again, so thank you for pushing that through Indeed as far as the application process, notifying people of the application. And I encourage everyone to notify someone that may be interested in serving on the ARB panel. So please solicit those individuals and ask them to apply accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. And by the way, that committee is a very hardworking committee. They have many meetings during the course of the year to make these appointments, and that's the toughest. Well, we have two committees that really have to meet frequently, but that one meets more than frequently. All right. Any further discussion? All right. We have a motion and a second. I'll call the roll. Vote aye if you're in favor, nay if you're opposed. Ms. Bluford Daniels?
Aye.
Ms. Lamont Dixon?
Aye.
Ms. McCutcheon?
Aye.
Ms. Noriega?
Aye.
Ms. Ramirez?
Aye.
Mr. Scott?
Aye.
Mr. Sullivan? Aye. Not the chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Did we get our new member?
I'm sorry?
Can Ms. Jones vote, or does she have to wait
Oh,
for
yes, well,
orientation?
yeah, Ms. Jones needs
Prior
to vote.
prior to orientation?
She votes aye.
Mash your button.
Okay.
Down at the bottom, it's green.
Yeah, we have a pre-prepared script here. It doesn't have the name
Okay.
of the new director. All right, item 7 is consideration and possible action to approve settlement of pending litigation, pending appeals to the State Office of Administrative Hearings, and pending arbitrations as presented. Do I have a motion to approve the proposed settlements?
So moved.
All right, we have both a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, rather than call the roll, we'll just do a voice vote on that one. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously.
Can I abstain, Mr. Chairman?
All right, and Mr. Sullivan abstains. All right, we move next to the consent agenda. We have 8 matters in the consent agenda for this month. Item A is discussion and possible action to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of September 17th. Item B, discussion and possible action to authorize the chief appraiser to exercise the second 1-year renewal option on a contract with Just Appraisal, Inc. for property transaction information at a cost of $207,000 per year, pardon me, which is the same amount as last year. Item C, discussion and possible action to authorize the chief appraiser to exercise the second 1-year renewal option on a contract with courthousedirect.com for online ownership information at a cost of $4,000 per month, the same amount of last year. Item D, discussion and possible action to review and approve 4th-year renewal of the enterprise agreement for geographic information system software from Esri Institute, Inc. in the amount of $748,000, which is a 6.5% increase over last year. Item E, discussion and possible action to review and approve second-year renewal of storage, maintenance, and support from DIR vendor Accudata Systems, a Converge company, in the amount of $148,000, a 6.5% decrease from last year. Item F, discussion and possible action to review and approve the 2026 holiday schedule. Item G, receive the district's monthly financial reports. And item H, receive report on payment of bills, payroll, and transfers of funds between line items, and discussion and possible action, if any, related thereto. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
So moved.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? We'll just do a voice vote on that one as well. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. All right, before we move to the action items, do we have a report, Mr. Scott, from the Finance Committee?
Yes. So the Budget and Finance Committee met by Zoom last week, and the bulk of our focus was on agenda items 8 through 11. So agenda item 8 has been kind of a pet issue of mine, so I'm happy to have been on the committee to have heard this one, which is how are we going to get more locally owned banks? How does that figure into our scoring system? I really appreciate the team taking the time to, really be proactive in going out and soliciting from our local banks and looking for a way to do that. I'm happy to report that the recommended bank is at least a Texas-owned bank, right? Not Yankees. I consider anything over Conroe to be Yankee territory, so they're San Antonio. So, but thank you guys for doing that, and I know that the entire committee appreciates that as well. And then 9, 10, and 11. This is to contract with services outside for appraisals. And what the committee asked was, why aren't these being done in-house? And so we had asked for a cost comparison of what it costs to use these external vendors versus bringing these in-house. So we had asked for that to be presented today. Hope we have it.
All right, very good. Well, the first of these is item 10, which is discussion and possible action to review proposals and award a contract for official depository of the district's funds. And Mr. Altinger, would you elaborate on that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we've sent the request for proposals to 76 financial institutions, 6 reviewed and 2 responded. You can see on page 37 that the scoring was done by the 2 that presented their proposals, and Frost Bank was the lowest bidder, and we're currently with Frost Bank, and we asked the board move to keep that relationship going, and we've got Teresa Paul if you've got any specific questions.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, board members. As Mr. Altinger said, we did submit out to 76 financial institutions here in Harris County, published a notice as required, and posted it on the website and the state controller's website as well. From all of those, we only received 2 bidders, which was Capital Plains Bank and Frost Bank. We did have the in the first tablet, I don't know where my brain's at this morning, I'm sorry. In the first table, we have the annual estimated fees. Frost Bank came in just under $12,000, while Plains Capital came in just under $25,000. The criteria was based on their past and prospective financial condition, the ability to pledge, rate of return, cost of fees, as you can see in the table below. We also went out and looked at what they were doing in the community, and they were both very, very
All right.
concluded. So I'm sorry.
Did we have a motion to discuss and possible action to approve this item?
Had you finished?
I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I am done. Okay. We are recommending Frost Bank for renewal.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, the motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? If not, let's vote.
Just quickly clarify, am I
Yes.
correct that the other bank besides Frost was pretty much twice the number of fees?
Yes, ma'am.
Double.
Yes, ma'am.
Just want to point that out.
Good information.
All
Thank you.
right, we'll go ahead and do a voice vote on this one as well. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Item 11, we're going to take the next three action items together since each deals with renewing contracts for industrial appraisal services. And also representatives of the contractors are present here. And we're going to ask each one of them to, at the proper point, to make some comments just to introduce themselves to the board. But the first of these is discussion and possible action to review and approve a contract for renewal of industrial appraisal services with Capital Appraisal Group Incorporated. The 2026 total amount of this contract is $441,000, which is the same as last year. The second is discussion and possible action to review and approve a contract for renewal of industrial appraisal services with Hugh Landrum and Associates. The 2026 total amount is $598,865, which is the same as last year. And third is discussion and possible action to review and approve a contract renewal for utility, mineral, and industrial appraisal services with Pritchard and Abbott Incorporated. The 2026 total of this contract is $539,454, which is the same as last year. And Mr. Altinger, would you call on the staff to elaborate?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We've got Lauren Williams, who works with all the representatives that do the industrial valuation, and I know I see two of them. I don't see the third. Is Capital here?
Not here today.
Okay. Would you like to elaborate with regards to the three vendors and introduce them and have them come up, please?
Sure. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. HCAD.
If you would pull the mic a little closer over to you.
Okay, is this better?
That's much better.
All right, good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. HCAD utilizes outside appraisal firms for the appraisal of our complex industrial properties. During a preliminary meeting with the Budget Committee, we were asked to look into the cost of bringing those valuation services of those complex and properties in-house. HCAD utilizes, again, both in-house appraisers as well as appraisal firms to complete the valuation of our county's industrial property. HCAD is one of only 2 appraisal districts in Texas that do any sort of industrial valuation in-house. To absorb the additional workload, we would need to hire at least 12 additional staff members to cover the accounts currently handled by our contractors. We estimate it would cost HCAD close to $2 million in staff salaries, not including benefits and onboarding. This would include senior industrial appraisers with expertise in highly specialized sectors such as chemical plants, refineries, plastic manufacturing, and utilities. To attract and retain this level of expertise, we would need to offer salaries above our current in-house pay structure. This would be an annual increase of about $400,000, as the total cost of all 3 contracting firms for 2026 is $1,579,319. I'm happy to answer any additional questions regarding this before moving on to the action items.
All right. Let's, if you would, let's have the contractors come up. Let each one just briefly introduce themselves and their company.
Sure.
So if you folks would come on up to the
from Hugh Landrum and Associates, we have Mr. Hugh Landrum,
Well, I'd like
Jr.
them to come up and just make some brief
I was
comments.
just gonna
Yes,
introduce them,
please
yeah.
come up and make some brief comments about your company.
Good morning. My name is Hugh Landrum, and I'm the president of Hugh L. Landrum and Associates. Our firm has been working for Harris County Appraisal District since it was created back in the early 80s. We have a good working relationship with your staff. We handle we do all of our inspections, we do all of our appraisals, we communicate all of that information to HCAD staff. We come up and we do our protest during protest season, and we're happy to have had the relationship with you all as long as we have. So thank you for having us.
Thank you, Hugh.
Good morning. My name is Jason Driscoll. I'm the district manager for Pritchard & Abbott Houston. Pritchard & Abbott is the largest appraisal firm within the state of Texas. We've been in business for 99 years. Next year we'll be celebrating our 100-year anniversary. We've been contracted with Harris Central Appraisal District since its inception, and also the taxing entities even prior to the inception of the appraisal districts. For Harris County Appraisal District, we appraise over $20 billion in value. Of the contractors, we have the largest varieties of properties that we appraise. For the appraisal district, we value your utilities, minerals, and then a multitude of different manufacturing facilities, chemical processing facilities, as well as your pipelines. So I have a staff of 17 that work for the appraisal district in terms of trying to get everything appraised on an annual basis, and would like to continue the working relationship that we have with the appraisal district. So we're here to answer any questions that you might have.
All right, any questions? Yes, Kyle.
So first, I want to thank the staff. Thank you for putting that number together. That came up. That was our intuition. It's just nice to have those numbers in stark contrast, so thank you very much. A comment was made earlier today, and I want to make sure that I'm clear because it came up in our committee meeting as well. You're going to do work on behalf of HCAD. If we enter into litigation with one of these properties, you can't also be on their side, can you?
No, sir.
Okay, so we've effectively taken you off the table.
No, sir. We're still involved with the appraisal district side.
Right.
But in terms of industry side, we have no dealings with industry. We're basically representatives of the appraisal district.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes, sir.
Yep, thank you.
All right, just I'd make one comment in the way of historical perspective. These companies have been working for HCAD since HCAD was created, but they also worked for Carl Smith when he did the appraisals. So their relationship goes back a long, long, long time. And we go way back when I was executive director of the State Property Tax Board, we also contracted with the same companies to do appraisals for the state of Texas. All right, do we have a motion to discuss? Yes, ma'am.
Just before we move on, I'd like to reiterate what the amount is specifically. Can we go over that one more time between having in-house people and contracting this out? It was 400 something, but can somebody clarify that for me?
Sure. I don't have an exact figure of what the
Give me
total cost would be. So we're estimating about $2 million. And our current amount that we spend on contracting services is $1.57 million. So roughly $400,000 increase.
Between $400,000 and $500,000.
Correct.
That's something we need to be able to articulate to the community. So I appreciate you taking a minute to clarify. Thank you.
And that's one reason why Mr. Smith, before HCAD and HCAD since, every time we'd looked at that, the cost is so extremely high. And it's, basically having these companies gives us a scale of things that, because they're working for other appraisal districts as well. All right, do we have a motion?
I'm sorry, I just wanted to make one comment, if you don't mind, Mr. Chair. I for one, am thankful that we have companies that we can outsource to. Just my, I'll say somewhat limited background in construction, these are very specialized areas. And so I also think even if we were to go down the path of moving it in-house, it would actually take a while to get this level of expertise in-house. So I just wanted to say that officially on the record. Thank you.
All right. Okay, do we have a motion to discuss and possible action to approve these items?
So moved.
Second.
Right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, if not, again, we will vote by voice. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Item 12, we may have to pull this one off. This is discussion and possible action to approve Resolution 2025-12, ratifying the Board of Directors' decision to hire Adam Bogart as Chief Appraiser Designate of the Harris Central Appraisal District, effective January 1st, he'd be the designate effective until December 31st, 2025, after which Mr. Bogard would assume the role of chief appraiser beginning January 1st, 2026. And Adam, it's your last chance to pull out if you don't want to do this. Do we have a motion to discuss and possible action to approve?
So moved.
Right, we have a motion and a second. Also, we do need to include in this motion the official designation of the salary, which the board previously agreed the beginning salary was $325,000 annually. So will you accept that amendment to your motion?
I think one of us needs to do it. Motion to amend this.
The motion yes, that needs to be part
Include
of the motion.
the salary.
Yes.
Second.
All right, the motion has been amended. We'll call the roll on this one.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Quick question. The board had also discussed a stipend. Or does that need to be part of this motion as well?
We could put it as part. I think the discussion was, what, $1,250 a month? Was that the?
No, that was the increase for an allowance, but I'm talking about the stipend as a designee from now till January 1st.
Well, I think that's something that would just be something that Roland could, within his authority, to grant pay raises to people while he's still chief appraiser.
Okay,
yeah,
so the amount that the board came up with in
yes,
executive.
We'll make sure that he understands.
Okay,
that amount.
got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, before you call for a vote, could we call for discussion since you have a motion and a second? Could we have discussion?
I'm sorry?
Could we have discussion on the item since you have a first and a second?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. May I be recognized?
Yes.
Thank you. Difficult process, interviewing and deliberating for this position. Adam, congratulations. Jason, thank you for applying. Thank you for your service and all that you've done for the years that you've worked here. Ms. Walker, thank you for applying. Thank you for what you've done and what hopefully both of you will continue to do. It's important that we have a solid team behind Adam, and y'all have demonstrated unique skills in order to help the district continue to grow. So just from my perspective, I wanted to acknowledge the work that you've done and to express my appreciation. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mike. All right, any further discussion? All right, if not, I'll call the roll. If you're in
Mr.
favor,
Chair.
say aye. If you're opposed, say nay. Ms. Bluford Daniels?
Mr. Chair, just a point of clarification during the discussion. In the resolution, there is the board agreed to a $25,000 stipend through the end of the year as designee, and a $1,500 expense allowance, and the salary. Those three items are included in the resolution.
Okay, all right, if they're included, then no further action by Roland would be required, Mr. Sullivan. All right, we'll call the roll. Ms. Bluford Daniels?
Aye.
Ms. Lamont Dixon?
Aye.
Ms. McCrutcheon? Aye. Ms. Noriega? Aye. Ms. Ramirez?
Aye.
Mr. Scott?
Aye.
Mr. Sullivan?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously.
Tracy
Oh,
Jones.
Ms. Jones?
Aye.
Aye.
That's the trouble with reading a
I have to hold a
script.
sign up.
Okay. All right, let's move to the discussion items. The item of searches on HCAD website is on this agenda, but
We're going to defer that to next
we probably ought to
month.
defer that to the November executive session.
Yes, sir.
Because it involves some substantial security issues, and I've previously discussed this with Mr. Sullivan, and he's agreeable to discussing it in November in executive session. All right, we'll move to item 14, which is the report on protest and hearings, including electronic settlement activities. Mr. Altinger.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, board members, we're ending the time of hearings, and Jeff Morris is going to give you the specifics and where we are and where we're going to complete hearings for this year.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm Jeff Morrison, Chief of Hearings. As of this morning for tax year 2025, we've received just over 563,000 protests. The split on that remains consistent with the last few years of 81% coming from agents and 19% from property owners. We have now completed over 551,000 of those protests, representing $545 billion in value. Over 302,000 of those settlements have come from one of our electronic options. iSettle and Express Informals have settled over 57,000 accounts, and Topline has settled over 238,000 protests electronically. I just want to say that everyone's efforts, along with the electronic settlement options, have enabled us to maintain our goal of having hearings down to 1 day per week by the end of October. And this is despite the increase of 50,000 protests over last year. So everyone involved just done a really wonderful job. I just wanted to say that, and I'd be glad to answer any questions.
All right. Do we have any questions about the settlement process? All right. Now, thank you very much, Jeff. Item 15 is the report of the Taxpayer Liaison Officer. We'll recognize Ms. Terry. While she's coming up, I would comment that on Saturday, both she and I attended the funeral of former longtime HCAD Board Chair George Weiss. Ms. Terry, if you'd go ahead then with your report, please.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to you, Mr. Chairman, and to the other directors. Pleased to report to you on the activity of the TLO office since the September report. Fortunately and thankfully, the number of protests is starting to diminish a little bit in terms of resolution. We had a large number of protests that were resolved in August and September, which is reflective in the large number of cases for the TLO that are reflected in your board book. For a change, we only had one exemption case that was brought and resolved for this particular report. So thank you very much. Where's Scott Christensen? Thank you very much. We only had one. So thanks. But everything else, most of what was left were hearing related, and many of them have already been resolved, and some of them are still under review. The TLO office has also been very much engaged with support of the board committee dealing with the selection and appointment of review board members for 2026. That concludes my report, if there are no questions.
All right, any questions for Ms. Terry? All right, thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say again, Ms. Terry, thank you. We started out with our ARB applications, and thank you for all the research. And Scott, he's not in here now, but for your entire team, pulling those applications forward so that we could hit the ground running. Thank you, Ms. Wendy, for your expertise and our concerns with our processes, because we're still working out some processes. There was one item that Kyle asked for specifically that we still have not gotten the kinks worked out yet, but we're still working on it as far as the application process is going. So we're trying to make it as smooth as possible to get as many people hired as soon as possible. So I just wanted to add that, but most importantly, say thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll move next to the ARB report. I see the ARB chair is here, and if you would come up, we'll hear your report.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and board members. And Ms. Jones, congratulations. I walked in on the end, so I didn't get a chance to applaud.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, so my name is Danielle Kirkland. I am the ARB chair. I'll be reading in the report. During the month of September 2025, the ARB conducted a total of 21,524 formal hearings with 686 panels in 21 days. The year-to-date formal hearings through September 30th consist of the following: commercial, 15,726, residential, 73,770, other, 2,530, totaling 92,026. And the prior years are sitting at 3,285. These hearings were conducted by 85% agent, 15% property owners. The ARB, as we continue to strive, we're almost there to the completion of the hearings for the 2025 season. Last week, our commercial and industrial personal property refresher was a really great success. We can credit that to the incredible engagement and teamwork amongst the members. As we get ready to roll into our post-hearing season, we will continue to conduct continuing education for correction hearings on a weekly basis with the members. For member attendance, the number of required ARB members is below the count of 190. As of September 30th, we had a total of 151 members. In the executive office, we continue to address a set-aside, dismissal, reschedule requests for hearings due to scheduling conflicts, and offering daily mentorship to the members. Our legal counsel continues to review all written complaints that come into the ARB executive office for any reason. And Mr. Hilscher also assists us with monthly legal reviews that are submitted by the ARB panel members as well. And thank you. That concludes the reading of my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, do we have any questions for the ARB chair? If not, we very
Thank
much,
you.
you guys are working real hard, and we very much appreciate
Thank
your
you,
effort.
appreciate it.
Item 17 is discussion regarding matters covered by Section 6.15 of the tax code. This is the time when members of the Board of Directors can discuss items with the Chief Appraiser in public. Are there any comments or questions from the board? And Mr. Altinger, do you have any?
No, sir,
All right,
no
Mr.
question.
Scott.
So this will be a matter that I think we could address more fully in the next board meeting, but I just wanted to put it out there. So when we did the reappraisal plan, we discussed what happens. I'm going to get all the technical terms wrong. I'm warning everybody. I will be directionally correct. So if I have a cracked foundation on my home and I have a quote for that cracked foundation, 10 grand, I bring it in, go through the ARB hearing, and they said, you're absolutely right. It was my understanding that in our discussion, the reappraisal plan, that information is carried over into the next year's appraisal, barring clear and convincing evidence that was included into that. I've now heard from multiple people that they're having to go back and do the same thing on a cracked foundation or a roof or something along those lines that they had to do again last year. Can't we click save in the computer and make sure that it carries over from year to year? I know it's more complex than that. I see people just pulling their hair out. That's why I would like to save it for the next meeting so I could get a better understanding of why it's seemingly not being done.
Well, and if you'd like, Mr. Chairman, I'd be glad to address that issue because I address that issue quite often out there in the public.
Yes, sir.
What takes place with regards to situations such as a foundation, and I guess the easiest way to place that is, let's just say that the foundation costs $10,000 to fix. We place characteristics on the property record card, such as it has a cracked foundation, which takes off value for that specific year. In addition to that, if it's worse than it is, or we'll add additional characteristic changes, which then stay on that property record card, and it is saved to the future years. However, when you look at a changing market, specifically the ones that we had in 2021, 2022, and 2023, we saw 30% appreciations out there in the market on properties in various neighborhoods. So the value of that house that subsequent year will go up, and that is that clear and convincing evidence that has to be utilized to reappraise that property in the subsequent year. However, that property owner that brought that the cracked slab to us will have that reduction in that year and subsequent years, and it'll be taken into consideration every year until that foundation repair is fixed and they take a permit out, and then we go back out there and change the property record card.
Just so I'm clear, and this is, I think, getting back to something we've talked about, a communication issue. If I'm a property owner and I go into an ARB or an informal hearing, if I pull up the data on your property, should I see like line item, like here's where we knocked it off last year, and then here's why, oh, well, here's I need this done. It was done last year, and then there doesn't seem to be communication back to them how you just ran through it, where they're thinking that there's no memory from one year to the next.
Yeah. And we can bring specific property I mean, we can bring the actual property record card to the board meeting next month and have a presentation on it to show you how that takes place in a subsequent year where there's appreciating values in the market.
Okay, and if the rest of the board doesn't want to see it, grab coffee and you can run it through. No, I know, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
legally.
Well, just thinking out loud, you know, we could possibly resolve that issue. There's already a lot of stuff goes on the notice of appraised value, but if we could just put an asterisk and a note that an adjustment has been made for a crack slab, that way people they would know it was already deducted, and they wouldn't have to come in and argue about it. But I will add one interesting story. When I was chief appraiser, a lady came in and she protested that her slab was terribly cracked, and she introduced into evidence pictures of the cracked slab, and then she listed her house for sale. Well, it's on the appraisal card, and realtors look at the appraisal card, and they told her, well, you know, this is going to affect the selling price of your house because HCAD says you have a cracked slab. Well, she came storming down here, and she was going to sue me personally because I said she had a cracked slab, and she didn't have a cracked slab. She had never had a cracked slab. So I said, well, let me research it. Well, lo and behold, I find on the hearing she'd been in the previous year with all these pictures. So when I confronted her with that, she said, oh, well, those were pictures of my neighbor's house. So I gave her a choice. I said, you know, it's felony to make a false entry in a government record, and we can either consider this closed or I can take it down to the DA. She closed it. Okay, let's move to
Chair.
item.
Yeah, I did, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Kathy.
And I'll be quick. I know we're late in the hour. To Director Scott's point about having that information provided, it's our fiduciary duty, responsibility to speak up for constituents and people in our communities as we're approached accordingly, and to be able to ascertain when there are issues. I love the idea of keeping a record of notifying the people when they come in to protest. This is what was discussed last year and the year before, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, so that they'll have an understanding. And so as I hear, Roland, as you talk about it being taken into consideration, how is that documented that it's taken into consideration when they have those issues like that with the cracked slab? What is there to substantiate that it's even considered, other than keeping a record of it?
Well, and I'm going to look out at the appraiser, Jason and Adam, with regards to when we put that code on there and the base foundation is 2,000 square feet, we take $5 a square foot, correct? And multiply that, or is it more now? Well, I mean, you're putting a flat value on there, and then you adjust in the CDU. That's why I said it would be better if we bring this back next month and we can bring you back these specific examples. But there's a base value taken off for the foundation, and then if it's very severe, then there's additional CDU adjustments that are made to reduce the value further. So.
And I can appreciate that, but that's my point. You all understand that verbiage and that process, but we need to be able to explain that to our constituents when we're being notified or our questions are being asked about that. Not in granular detail like you guys know, but we need to be able to understand that process so we can explain it. And the other thing, real quickly, Director Scott mentioned before, as far as ARB is concerned, one thing we talked about is the process. We had someone that applied put in an application and came out, and rather than they weren't able to save it. And so we were suggesting that in that process of the application, that many of you know, when you apply for various things or you put in an application for something, it'll ask you, are you ready to save? Please review the application before you forward it, because that wasn't happening. And then we found some errors in some of the application because the person was not able to go back and review their applications without having to resubmit it all over again. So we need to look at having a check and balance point for the applicants. We're trying to get people to apply for ARB, having a check and balance point for the application so that people can review it and say review before you submit, and then hit submit. And if we can't do that in that process, with all the programs that we're approving continuously up here on the board, we need to make sure that the programs the apps that we're buying will give us what we want. And that's very, very important to be able to give us what we want. And we want that. We want to be able to have that review process. That's what you asked for before, wasn't Director Scott? So apparently it's still happening, and we just need to have to ensure that it's not a continuance.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any more discussion before we move on? All right. Item 18 is a report on appeals under Section 4202 of the Tax Code. Roland, are there any such appeals?
No, Mr. Chairman, not this month.
All right. Item 19 is report of corrections under 2525B. Do we have any such correction motions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. As you know, this is a quarterly report. We've got the report if the board wants to review it. However, there's no motion required, and we just need to provide it to the board.
All right. We've already done the committee reports, and for next month's agenda, we're going to move all the committee reports up to prior to any of the action items. I went ahead and did that, informally today, but we'll move them all up. Okay. We'll now do the recognition of service awards and employees of the month, and I can't think of any better way to orient a new board member than for the new board member to represent the board as the awards are handed out. Right. So.
It's pretty easy. It's easy. Yeah. All that arduous work. Just do the Vanna White.
All right. Good afternoon. Well, good morning still for 8 minutes. When we get to it, we'll get it. But anyhow, I would like to begin and ask that you all to observe me with a moment of silence in honor of Maria Teresa Flores, who passed away Saturday, October 4th. Joining us June 1984, Maria dedicated her entire work life to serving the district, 41 years. Houston native, graduated from M.B. Smiley High School. She epitomized excellence, supporting our core values in positions throughout INA, progressing to senior manager of account maintenance. Maria earned designations such as the Registered Professional Appraiser, Certified Tax Administrator, and she was an instructor for PTAC, which is the Property Tax Education Coalition. She was active in her church. Maria is survived by 3 children and 5 grandchildren. She was an awesome employee. She did great work for me, and please pause for a moment. Thank you. All right. We've got 2 service awards this month. Our first is been with us for 10 years. He was born in Karachi, Pakistan. He grew up in Chicago, earned his BS in telecommunications and management, a master's in business administration, previously worked for a credit union, and saw a job on our board and gave us a try. Hired on as a system administrator. Now he's a cybersecurity engineer in IT. He's been married for 20 years, has a teenage daughter. He's a car enthusiast, and he enjoys travel by any means. Previously, he used to fly a pilot. He was a pilot on a single-engine airplane, and now he currently has his RV, which he takes up into the Smoky Mountains. Nadim Matini, how are you? You'll take a picture with him. Congratulations, man. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Oh, you get the box too. Oh, yes. All right, our second service award recipient joined us 20 years ago, native Houstonian, went to Nimitz High School, studied sociology at Prairie View A&M University, worked as a cashier at Home Depot for 5 years and needed better benefits, searched the web, came across HCAD. She applied and hired on as an admin tech. She's advanced through the ranks. Now she's a valuation analyst 4, devoted her full tenure here at HCAD to the Business, Industrial, Personal Property Division. Married, 2 children. She enjoys shopping and binge watching Law and Order and The First 48. Where's Tiffany McKinney?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, your bucks.
So they'll stay up here. All right. Our first employee of the month is a great example of an HCAD intern success story. He grew up on the south side of Houston, went to Westside High School, participated in the Genesis program, which we started in 2012, attended Sam Houston State University, got a bachelor's in information system, and he continued providing excellent service as he was doing so during the summer. He was hired on full-time in 2020. Today works as a tech support specialist 3 in IT, and he fixes everything that I break on my PC. Nomination states he goes above and beyond, fixes problems quickly, has a positive attitude and willingness to help others. In his spare time, the recipient enjoys traveling, playing games, and staying active. Where's Zachary Eaton? My God, you look awesome in that suit. Man, I want a picture with you. Crazy. Come here, Jose. All right, you look great.
Thank you. Thank you.
And stay up here for the picture. All right, our second employee of the month, born in Houston, went to Alief High School, earned his bachelor's from Sam Houston State University and a master's from the University of Houston. He built a well-rounded 28-year career in education, and when I met this gentleman, I was really just awesome young man. He went from PE coach to principal and everything in between. A friend, also a former principal and current HCAD employee, told him about the district. The recipient hired on in 2024 as an appraiser 1 in Business, Industrial, Personal Property Division, and he's already Employee of the Month. Nomination states he exceeds expectations through his exceptional performance and dedication, recognized today for his reliability, adaptability, and proactivity. He has a high-quality work results and is committed to personal and professional growth. He's married and has a 3-year-old daughter. He enjoys working out and time with family and friends. Where's Terrence Hayden? Working out. Hey, you need to cut that out.
Yes.
We can't have you on the injured reserve list.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Anyhow, our third employee of the month, native Houstonian, went to Jersey Village High School, graduated and joined the Army, served 3 years in Iraq, got an honorable discharge, then earned a degree in science from Lone Star College. Went to work for Texas Health and Human Services as a unit administrator. Passing the HCAD building on her way, looked up, and the rest is history. Worked as a talent development coordinator and works as a talent development coordinator in HR. Commended today for her dependability, exceptional efforts, professionalism, and first-class customer service. Nomination states she exemplifies HCAD's core values, has a positive attitude, and performs her job with the utmost integrity. Proud mother of a 17-year-old daughter, enjoys shopping, time with family, and watching True Crime TV. LaCora Mason, where are you at? You don't have to pay them that.
Thank you.
All right, our final employee of the month, born in San Antonio, grew up in North Carolina, went to school there, moved to Texas in 2011, became a dental assistant, found HCAD in 2017 through a fellow church member. She was recently promoted to Exemption Specialist 3 in INA and has already made a noticeable impact to the team, serves as a training lead for the new team members, has a positive influence and helps out wherever needed. Married 12 years, 2 children. When she's not studying for her counseling degree, she enjoys karaoke and dancing, but not at the same time. Ashley Washington, where are you at?
Thank you.
No, thank you. It's
I
good
want a
to see you.
picture of, I want a picture because Zach got a picture, so I want a picture. And I like that in 8x10s. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now what we're going to do, we're going to go up there and take a picture. Okay. I'll let you lead in the front.
And there being no further business before the board, we stand adjourned at 12:01 p.m.